Let's talk about our discussion forum here for week 6. So our discussion forum this week is directly tied into information found in Gula chapter 6. Be sure you've read through the first half of Gula chapter 6 and have a good understanding of a few of the arguments he talks about in here. So what we're doing this week is we're watching a video clip from the Anderson Cooper 360 show where he's arguing with a lady over her political messages about this mosque issue in New York City that was happening a couple of years ago. And the debate gets kind of ugly. They start calling each other names. Basically, Anderson Cooper is questioning what she is putting into her ads and how she's trying to get elected. And then she proceeds to start calling him names. But what we really want to think about here is where we're getting our political ideas from. Are we on the left? Are we on the right? For the purpose of this class, because it's a critical thinking class, let's try and stay somewhere in the middle and understand that whether it's Anderson Cooper on the left or whether it's Bill O'Reilly on the right or whoever else, these people are entertainment people. So many times we get our political views from people who are entertainment people. These people aren't political commentators. They're just doing their job to make some money, and let's all really keep that in mind. And we are not going to get into political debates. We're not going to argue whether or not we think the mosque should be built, whether or not we should be afraid of Muslim terrorists. That is not the purpose of our discussion forum this week. If you start getting into those kind of arguments, I'm going to have to I will shut down the discussion forum and points will be taken off for that. What you have to do is talk about the different type of argumentation that is going on within the debate. And you have to know a couple of different styles of argumentation that are discussed in this chapter and talk about them and how they relate to the debate between Anderson Cooper and Renee Elmers. One is the argumentum ad hominem. Now that's your Latin, of course, ad hominem, against the man or to the man. You're attacking the person instead of discussing the argument. The argument directed against the speaker rather than towards what the speaker is saying. The personality of someone is criticized or attacked instead of what the person is saying. Another one you need to really understand is the irrelevant question. Topic X becomes blurred. Reasons are offered and supported evidence is cited, but these reasons and this evidence addresses them not to topic X, but to some other topic. So getting off the topic. And it seems to me they did get off the topic quite a bit by the second half of this debate. Now the other one I want you to really think about in the book, moving forward in the book, the idea of the sacred cow. These are ideas that we hold dear. Justice, freedom, democracy, the law, religion. Someone in the debate says, so are you anti-religious? Oh, you must be anti-religious. You must be not democratic. Boy, we hear that all the time in political debate, the sacred cow. When a person says that because you challenge his statement, you also challenge one of these ideas of democracy, law, religion, justice, freedom. What do you mean by criticizing what the preacher this morning is saying? Are you against religion? When you criticize the president, you criticize all that he stands for, democracy, the American way of life. So as you're doing this discussion forum and all discussion forums in the future, remember there are specific instructions. You have to follow the specific instructions and discuss and argue about what are in the instructions. You just can't go off and start talking about whatever you want, because we need to have an intelligent discourse where we put ourselves in the middle of the argument and we are critical thinkers and we're looking at both sides and we're criticizing argumentation styles. Then the second half of it is 2 parts. You must answer both parts. Is just a little more fun one about Katy Perry and Elmo and how they got in a bit of a controversy over Katy Perry's outfit, whether or not that was appropriate for an age-specific show, or whether it was a marketing ploy by Sesame Street. Oh, they wouldn't do that, would they? And again, this idea of Elmo and Grover tying into our concept, this would be a great concept for your paper, of what you're writing your paper on this week, cradle to grave advertising. So now we're getting a tie-in with Elmo and then already bringing in pop music. So 2 things this week, the controversy between Anderson Cooper and Renee Elmers over the mosque, but you're not going to argue politically. You're going to discuss whether or not they had valid or invalid arguments according to Gula chapter 6. And the second section, the Katy Perry, Elmo controversy, which one of the three ideas that I threw out do you think is most valid and why?